Welcome. Today is September 10th, 2019, and it is now 6 o'clock p.m. My name is John Lake, Supervisor with the DEM Division of Marine Fisheries. I'm here tonight to officiate this hearing regarding the proposed amendments to Rhode Island Marine Fisheries regulations on behalf of DEM Director Janet L. Coy. With me today from the Division of Marine Fisheries are Pete Duhamel, Nicole Costa, Chris Parkins, and Christina Hostman. Tonight's hearing concerns proposed amendments to the Rhode Island Marine Fisheries Regulation Part 2, Commercial and Recreational Saltwater Fishing Regulations, concerning several regulatory proposals which were publicly noticed on August 22nd, 2019, pursuant to the procedural requirements of Rhode Island General Laws, Chapter 42-13, Administrative Procedures, and the Office of Rhode Island Secretary of State, and under the authority of Rhode Island General Laws, Chapter 42-17.1. Pursuant to the Administrative Procedures Act, annotated regulations showing proposed changes have been filed with the Secretary of State's office at the time of noticing, and which are provided on both the Secretary of State's and the Division's webpage. Interested persons are strongly encouraged to review these documents to fully understand the proposals brought forward tonight. The purpose of this hearing is to afford interested parties an opportunity to submit data, opinions, and/or arguments concerning the proposed rulemaking on how such proposed action can be changed to minimize the impact on those affected while still achieving the required goals. This hearing is not a forum for discussing, debating, arguing, or otherwise having any dialogue. Please limit any questions to clarifying questions only. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and will be made available on the Division's webpage. For tonight's hearing, the Division will provide a PowerPoint presentation summarizing each of the proposals. Again, you're encouraged to review the annotated regulations and public notice. For each hearing item, the following process will be observed. The Chair will recognize the speaker. No more than 5 minutes will be allowed for a presentation or comments. When you are recognized, please clearly identify yourself by name and affiliation, if any. Provide your comments. If desired, provide a written copy of your statement. If comments are extensive, it is strongly encouraged that comments be provided in writing in order to assure that the record is clear. The public comment period will conclude at 4 p.m. on September 21st, 2019. The record of this public hearing and comments will be provided to the Rhode Island Marine Fisheries Council for consideration at their meeting on October 15th, at which time the Council will provide a recommendation to the Director on each item. The Director has the option to file the rules and regulations with the Secretary of State as is, file the rules and regulations with minor changes, or make additional amendments to the rules and regulations and hold a new public hearing. If filed, these rules and regulations become effective 20 days after filing and have the effect of law. Prior to hearing comments, the following exhibits are noted for the record. Exhibit 1 is a copy of the public notice and annotated regulations that were filed with the Secretary of State on August 22nd, 2019. Without further ado, we will get into the slides. First, we'll go through the dates for this cycle. We had a workshop on May 30th. August 22nd was the date of public notice. Today is September 10th, the public hearing. September 21st is the end of the public comment period, and October 15th is the Rhode Island Marine Fisheries Council. I will state for the record that there is no one at the public hearing and that we are just going through the slides. The first proposal is to clarify reporting documentation requirements as it pertains to commercial trip data reporting, section 2.7.4c. The issue here is that the rules are not clear as to what is meant by documentation for the reporting requirement. Trip elements are identified in the paper catch and effort harvester logbook instructions, but are not currently identified in rule. Our proposal will clarify documentation requirements and add the trip elements that must be reported. Proposal 2 is to clarify due dates for the submittal of commercial trip data reporting, sections 2.4 E and F. The issue here is that the section does not specify type of reporting, paper or electronic. Our proposal is to amend section 2.74 E to apply to paper reports, add section 2.74 F to address electronic reporting. Our third proposal is to amend the standard of actively fishing as it pertains to the eligibility for the issuance of a new commercial fishing license with quahog endorsement for the holders of a student shellfish license. This is in section 2.75D1B3. The issue here is that the rule currently requires that a student shellfish license must be held for at least 2 years to be actively fished. If obtained, the student shellfish license, if the student shellfish license is obtained in the final year of eligibility, aka when the applicant is 23, the licensee ages out before they can hold the license for 2 years. If the student shellfish license is not actively fished before they can hold the license for 2 years, they are not eligible to upgrade their license to a commercial fishing license with quahog endorsement. Our proposal is to allow for the upgrade of a student shellfish license to the CFL with quahog endorsement for licensees aging out after a single year of holding the license. Proposal 4 is to add new language to rule that establishes that residency status must be maintained to keep their eligibility for license renewal. The issue here is that our rule does not currently address the issue. Our proposal is to add the new language to rule which is consistent with state law. Proposal 5 is to amend the eligibility requirements for the prioritization of the issuance of new licenses, section 2.75G1E. The issue is that the division has been seeing an increase in the number of occurrences where a person is selling their license, acquiring a new open license, and reaching priority status through questionable fishing practices. For example, selling a single fish per day. Our current rule does not provide protection against this practice. Our proposal is to amend the eligibility requirement such that in cases where an applicant has previously surrendered a license to the department pursuant to the sale of vessel and/or gear, the applicant has subsequently acquired a new license, the applicant must have held the new license for a minimum of 7 years before becoming eligible for the prioritization process. Proposal 6 is to require dealer reporting compliance as a condition of dealer license renewal, section 2.79A7. The issue here is there is currently no rule in place to require reporting compliance as a condition for a dealer to renew their license. We propose to amend our rule to require reporting as a condition of license renewal. Proposal 7 is to clarify the reporting requirements for the party charter section, section 2.9.2F. The issue here is a lack of clarity of documentation required and that the trip elements to be reported are not specified. We propose to clarify the rule and add the trip elements to be reported. The final proposal, proposal 8, is for licensed party charter vessel captains to add reporting compliance as a condition of maintaining and/or renewing their party charter license. Section 2.92F5. The issue here is our current rules do not have any means of which to enforce reporting compliance in the party charter sector. We propose to amend the language to provide DEM with the ability to suspend or revoke licenses or render the applicant ineligible for license renewal. I will state for the record that we had one council member, Andy D'Angelo, show up during the public hearing, and we have two additional staff members from DEM, Chris Parkins and Officer Mike Shippert here in attendance. That is the end of our slideshow. Since there are no comments to be.
Andy, you got anything? We can go back any slides you want to look at.
No, I kind of agree with all of what you said. Okay, right now.
You're good. Your comment is you're good with what we're proposing so far.
Yes.
Thank you, Andy.
Great, thanks. Well, since there are no further comments to be presented at this time, on behalf of the Department of Environmental Management, I would like to thank you for attending and for your comments. At this time, I declare this public hearing to be closed. Please be reminded that the public comment period will conclude at 4 p.m. on September 21st. Thank you.